Welcome to Maybe We Can Help, the podcast where we give our unsolicited advice. Maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. You be the judge. I am Tasia Royale.
I'm Sheena.
I'm Risha.
And today we decided, I know I am in a season of setting boundaries. I am a hairstylist. I'm a cosmetologist licensed. Put respect on my name. And I am in the midst of setting boundaries with clients. So I'm kind of in a season of really honestly protecting my peace, because a lot of times when we don't set definite boundaries, we feel overwhelmed, in shambles in the mind. Like, it's just a lot of different type of emotions that happen. So today we're going to talk about setting boundaries in a healthy way, in a nice way, because I'm nice and I'm not nice nasty. I'm literally can only be nice in my mind, though I'm very nasty.
Yes, everybody is honest. That's the most honest place you are, is in your mind.
Your mind.
Yeah.
I'm very rude in there. God, nobody can. Nobody.
But you do it with a smile.
I do it with a. You'll never know that I don't like you. No, I'm playing. So how do y'all think? Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries.
I'm really. It's amazing because I'm really in that space myself too, of learning to set boundaries, and it can be difficult because you do want to. I think everybody kind of just wants to be loved and liked and appreciated and wanted. So if you feel like sometimes you feel like if you set boundaries, you're going to lose those things. And so I think that's what makes boundaries hard. But what do y'all think? Why do y'all think, other than those reasons, why do you think setting boundaries is so hard? You think it's because of the nice people like you, Tay? Like I was just saying, like, you just don't want to hurt nobody's feelings?
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
So what is it about? I don't want to say about hurting people's feelings, because that sounds mean. But what is it about hurting people's feelings that stops you from setting boundaries?
Well, we've talked about this before. I don't want nobody to not like me. I would,
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
and I don't like confrontation. So in my mind, if I set a boundary that you may not be comfortable with, I'm just like, okay, I could lose this person potentially. Like in friendship spaces, like, okay, I just rather deal with it because I don't want to lose you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And in client spaces, I don't want to lose you as a client. So I'm just like, I'll take whatever it is you're giving me.
Right.
But that is really becoming very exhausting. And I don't blame anybody else for it. It's my own doing. So now I'm at a place where okay, like, how do I definitively set these boundaries and stick to them? Okay. Like, I don't want to just say, example, I had a new client and I don't love meeting new people. Sorry, I don't. I was about to say it, but I was like, that's not true, Tay. But it's cool. It is cool meeting new people. I'm not a social butterfly that can just come up to everybody. So that's why I said I don't love meeting new people, but it is cool to meet new people. Anyway, I had a client coming to me. She wanted to get braids, and everybody knew my braiding services is going to be between 5 and 6 hours because they get in something like medium knotless. She set the appointment and we had it set, but something in me, and it had to be the Holy Spirit, because I just got to start yielding more. Help me, Lord. I felt like she was not going to come to this appointment. Like, I felt it as soon as she made it. I was like, I don't think she's going to come to this appointment. But I was like, I'm going to give her a chance or whatever. It's fine. She's a new client, whatever. And before y'all say, you should have did a deposit, don't come at me. I know. I don't do deposits because I have extremely faithful clients. Like, my clients, the ones that rock with me, they don't miss. Like, I don't have to worry about a deposit. They're going to come and they're going to do what they got to do. Anyway, this new client, she made the appointment. I felt like she wasn't going to come. The day of the appointment, I was like, okay, give her some time. Her appointment's at 9:30, and at 9:25, she texts me, I'm going to have to reschedule the appointment. Thank you anyway. No, you didn't just make me get up at early. Well, I ain't early, my regular time, and I wasn't even that mad, because I was like, first of all, I felt like the Holy Spirit had already let me know you weren't coming. And I was proud of me, because this was the first time I set this boundary, because I asked Risha, I was like, how do I tell her that she can't book with me anymore? I don't really tell people that. I just keep it going. I never really tell people, oh, you can't book with me anymore. She was like, well, you didn't tell her the policy in the beginning. I was like, okay, you're right. Fine. So I had to come up with the policy. And what I ended up coming up with is, okay, you can book with, if she decides to book with me again, you're going to have to pay a late cancellation fee. Because you cancel late, you didn't let me know 24 to 48 hours. So you're going to have to pay that. And then on top of that, you can only miss your appointment twice. Like you, as far as how she did it. Because you did it 5 minutes before your appointment. First of all, you knew last night you weren't going to come. And people can be like, well, stuff happens. That is true. I do give grace. But I'm just like, 5 minutes before your appointment? No.
Yeah.
That nothing didn't just come up 5 minutes before. You didn't come. You had no mind to come. So I just let her know, like, you can't book with me another time if you do this. And I text her. She never texts me back. And I'm okay with that. Like, I had to learn to be okay with rejection. And what's another if people don't like me, that's okay. Like in this situation I didn't do anything wrong, and it is what it is. If she come another time, cool. If she don't, I'm all right either way. So that was just my one baby step of setting a boundary.
A step is a step.
A step is I had to set that boundary, and I pray I set more boundaries.
Yes. Risha, do you feel like setting boundaries is difficult for you?
No.
You're able to set them and make them clear. That's good. That's good.
Because, like, I mean, I feel like I say what I say, I mean what I said. So if you don't,
Okay, so
then
let's digress. Not digress that. Dissect that. Because it feels as if you're gonna set the boundary, whether it's nice, whether it's nasty, whether it's nasty. You're gonna set the boundary regardless. You don't regard the other person's feelings.
well, God's still working on me on that. So
Yes.
It's one of the things, depending on the situation. Like, I feel like I've grown enough to sit down and be like, hey, I don't like this, and it might not still seem as nice, but it's what I had to offer. Like, hey, this ain't gonna work for me. So I don't like this when you do this. Maybe you could try that. But if that's not what you can do, then I don't know. Like, it's not. And then I'm real quick to be by myself. So setting boundaries is nothing. You can just be alone. It's like, I don't gotta deal with you. I don't know if that's good, but it's probably not. It's definitely toxic, but I don't feel like it's toxic because I feel like I'm not harming anyone. Like, I'm out of harm's way. You don't get to cross mine. I don't get to cross yours. Boundaries, that is, to me.
So how do you feel when other people set boundaries?
It is what it is. And like, I don't personally feel like I tap over people's boundaries, but if I do, and I expect somebody to tell me, but if not, like, I won't know. And if I do know, it's like, okay, well, I'll just leave you alone because I don't know what to do. I don't know.
How about you, Tay? How do you feel when other people set boundaries?
But it depends on but it depends on the strictness of the boundary. Because, I mean, boundaries in general could be respected, period. They should always be respected. Let me not say that. But I guess in my mind, if, like, you're saying, hey, I don't like if you walk too heavy. Like, get out of here. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe that's under the level of pet peeve versus boundary. Because a boundary should just be respected. Mm-hmm. Like, my boundary would be like, hey, I'm not having sex before marriage no more. Like, that's a boundary.
Right.
Correct.
You're just going to have to take it or leave it.
Right. And a pet peeve is just something that annoys you. Basically.
Yeah.
But a boundary.
Something, right. But a boundary is like a non-negotiable.
Right.
Correct. Something I'm not willing to cross.
Right. Pet peeves are like, I can live with that. Mm-hmm. I can live with that. But
I don't like it, and
like,
I'm letting you know I don't like it.
Right. Right. But you can answer your question.
I don't remember. What was it?
I was just saying, how do you feel when people set boundaries with you?
At first I'm just like, because I would say, I don't know if anybody ever said yes they have. At first I'm like, okay, I acknowledge, like, okay, do I ever do this? Like, in my mind, okay, do I actually do this to you? And if I think, I was like, okay, maybe I did. I think I did do this a couple times. Okay, you don't want it done to you? Fine, that's okay. I don't. Funny, Aaron, my husband has big lips. He doesn't like when I like flick his lips. And I did it for a long time. I never knew. I'm serious. Because I like it. I like the sound that it makes. I think it's so, like, I don't know. I love the sound. So he does not like it at all. I never knew this. And one day he got so mad at me. I was just like, wow, I just want to flick your lip. What's the purpose? He's like, I don't like when you do that. I was like, okay. I mean, I guess I can stop. Sure. It's so hard for me. Not so hard. I mean, that is very hard because I just want to flick it.
So basically, okay, so do you feel like do you feel some type of way a little bit sometimes
That I can't flick his lip?
or in general?
About boundaries?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't think I feel no type of way. I have to see if I actually do it. Like what you're
How
telling
long did
me.
it take you to get there? Or have you always been there where you just like people give you boundaries? It's like, okay.
I feel like we never had boundaries to cross with people because people don't talk about them.
Yeah, I would
and
agree.
It's really been us for a long time, like me and Tay. And what boundaries do we cross with each other?
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
don't. If
we
we
just
if we had boundaries, I don't think we talked about them.
no,
The boundaries is fairly new to me.
very. And I
Fairly.
think my boundaries started with you, Sheena. Like, so, because nobody talks about them. Nobody communicates.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Like, not in depth. Like, everybody surface based talks. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Just like, nobody gets down to learning a personality or learning, like, what I do or do not like. It's like, well, suck it up, you too sensitive. Like, that's because that's a lot of the times that I be thinking about sometimes. Like, well, Marie, why you so rough? Why they just can't be who they are? Why do they got to be so? Why are you so rough? Like, you know, and a lot of people don't look at themselves and be like, well, maybe I am a little rough on the edges. But it's like their boundaries make them feel safe. Boundaries
Correct.
make a person feel safe. And boundaries are not to be mistaken for walls. Walls are not boundaries. Like, walls cave you in, boundaries keep you safe. And they both do the same thing. It's just a negative and a positive effect. Like, you'll have a positive effect from a boundary, but you'll have a negative effect if you build a wall.
Right.
And I've seen them both. So
I feel like that was good. That was good. But you helped me to see a wall is literally something solid in front of you, keeping you from people and keeping people from you. A boundary is literally something like a line in the sand, and you're saying, hey, if you care about me and I care about you, I'm not building a wall. I'm just letting you know that there's a line here that I don't want you to cross. And so if people end up crossing that, you don't build a wall. You just say, okay, you don't respect boundaries because I let you know where my line was, and you are tap dancing all over it, kicking it, and you're just like, who cares? You're just like, okay, I'm not building a wall. I forgive you. I just realized that I cannot trust you with me. You don't handle me well. So I have to in turn create space or do something, you know what I'm saying? Because this is my boundary. And that's basically the difference between a boundary and a solid wall, like you can't get in and I'm not coming out.
Basically.
That was good. That was good. Boundaries and walls do the same thing, but boundaries make people feel safe. A wall is like shutting you in, shutting people out.
it gives you the same effect as far as feeling safe because you feel safe in your wall. You just not in a good position in your heart. And that's no way to live. Like, it's not. And people don't realize that you'll be all pent up, and it's just not a good way to live.
There's a difference when you're free. You're free to walk around. You're free to be yourself. You know, if you have walls, you know, one thing about walls is they're stationary. So you have to be in the walls to be protected. You can't. There's no freedom in that.
And the feeling that people also, I guess, how do you feel when someone crosses your boundaries?
You can start.
For me, I am a very gracious and merciful person, I feel like. And so if my boundaries are crossed, then I feel like I should go reiterate, hey, these are my boundaries. It depends on my relationship with the person. If my relationship is not, if they're not in my circle, then I do nothing. And I just make sure that my heart is right. I'll search over my heart, and then when I see them, if I feel that feeling, or if I get a thought, like look at anything that is not right, I automatically cast it down and I say, okay, I need to get my heart right. What is a thought I can think towards this person to counteract what they did to me, so that I don't have anything in my heart towards them. I'm a stickler on clean hearts, you know. So, but if they're in my circle, then I feel like I have to reiterate what my boundaries are, and I'm long-winded in the process of giving them an understanding, because I feel like understanding literally breaks chains, and it brings forth it breaks down offenses if there is understanding. So I help people understand. I will reach back into my background and say, hey, this is where it comes from. That's why it's important for me to sometimes sit and analyze. I think it's important for all people to sit and analyze why you are like this or why you are like that, and find those answers. And then you can bring it forth to somebody. This is why I say this. And, you know, hopefully there comes understanding. But normally I will reiterate those boundaries, because if you're in my circle, I feel like my circle is my circle. Right. And, you know, you got to work things out. When you have a good circle, when you have your circle's supposed to be real small, but
I agree.
you don't want too many people in there. But once you have your circle, I feel like you got to work it out with your circle. Them other folks out there, you know, you just make sure your heart ain't impure towards them, and they can stay over there.
Right. I also want to piggyback what you said when you said when you tell people you reach back into your past. People also got to realize that's not saying you use an excuse, but people will milk that and be like, oh, well, I told you what it is. No, fix that, because you're a little broken. It's not always just this is who I am and this is where it come from. Well, what we doing to fix it? Because it's bothering my soul. And if we got to coexist together, at some point in time, somebody should be able to do some type of work. And a lot of people make excuses for themselves to be like, oh, this came from my mama's side and this how I am. So what you gonna do about it?
Right. And that's basically like the opposite of what I said, because you're absolutely right. But people do need to know the difference. Yeah, what I'm talking about, which I didn't elaborate on, is I say it so that you understand me. And I don't, but what she's saying, how she said it, is making excuses for.
Because it can sound like somebody's like not trying to take accountability when somebody's explaining themselves. But if you're a person like me, it'll look like, bro, you ain't never wrong, huh? Like, so you got to be careful how you as a person take the information that a person is trying to give you, just for understanding, not for let me cop out, let me because it sounds like a cop out. But if you open up to understanding, you will understand that they're just explaining what they want you to understand. Like, it's nothing more, nothing less. But you got to know that person, because some people are manipulative.
True. And they'll use that like, yeah, like she said, yeah, I do it because of this, you know. But you definitely got to know who you're talking to and learn. You can't do that. Everything takes time. Everything takes time. So if you got to see the consistency in people's character to know how you're dealing with, who you're dealing with, and how to deal with that person. And it's just no different than being a parent. You parent that particular child. I have two, and I can't talk to one the way that I talk to the other. They're different. So I have to figure out, you know, whole different scenarios. And I do that with my friends too. You know, you can't talk to, I can yell at Tay, it's going to hurt her feelings. But like if I say, no, you know, or I don't know, something like that. But Risha, she'll shut down if I yell at her, because, you know, saying it's a different dynamic and a different thing there that makes yelling different in her head for her. And then Tay will be like, oh, that hurt my feelings, and then be really okay in a few minutes, you know. So it's all about who you're talking to, and understanding, gaining the understanding, and the love them enough to want to understand your circle and how to talk and deal with them separately.
And you have to like know the people that are around you. Like, I can accept it from Sheena because her intentions, I know, are never malicious. Like, if you know Sheena, she doesn't have malicious intent. Like, so she yelling at me, so I'm like, What you yelling for? Okay. But like, if I don't know you, I'm gonna be like, okay, now what you yelling for?
Right. I really don't know.
I don't really know. So the people around me, I know they don't have ill will towards me. So even if they do offend me, it is easier to get over offense because I was like, okay, you genuinely love me. So I am offended by this particular situation, but I know you love me. So we gonna get over it.
Right.
I mean,
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, we gonna be just fine. I mean, you cool. So I don't mind. It's all right.
Right. So that's boundaries.
So how do
Having
you
boundaries.
feel after somebody crosses your boundaries?
It depends on like Sheena said who they are. If I don't really know you like that, I mean I don't really care. You ain't gonna be around me. It doesn't bother me. You probably don't even know if it's a boundary. So, but people around me, okay,
That was a good point.
yeah, you ain't gonna be around me, so I don't care. But people closest to me, it honestly depends because I am learning to understand that healthy conversation is okay. It's gonna be a little bit of friction in relationships regardless. So I haven't really crossed that bridge of telling somebody, okay, I don't like it when you do this. I haven't really crossed that bridge. I mean, besides Aaron, I don't know how I come off. If you had asked him, I don't know how I come off. I think I'd just be like, hey, you did this, and I remember telling you I don't like this. Is that what we had a conversation about? I mean, we can jog our memory. I don't remember. Do you remember? So it can be something like that. Like I'm going to confront him about it. But like my friends, I haven't got to that place just yet. Hopefully. I mean,
Why do you think that is?
I'm very closed off to people.
Even your friends.
I am closed off to people, yes.
So what do you think it would take for you? Do you feel like that affects the relationship at all?
Keep telling her happy world. That's what it is.
It does keep me in a very happy, safe place. I can't say. And because I haven't had an issue with it as of now.
I agree.
I haven't had an issue with it as of now. I mean, I pray for myself. If it ever gets to the point where I need to tell somebody, I do. Because I don't know really, but I pray if I have to tell them. I mean, I told Risha she was a brat. I think that was me telling. That's not a boundary though, but that's just me telling my truth. Because I have a problem with that too. I don't really tell people how I genuinely feel about them at a time. Because I don't want to hurt their feelings because I don't want to lose anybody. But that's kind of contradiction because I say y'all love me. So.
Right. You won't know love until you step out on it.
I am a little messed up.
Tyler Perry had a great point when he said that, it was like leaves and the branches and the roots. You got people that are like leaves and they're there for a season and then they wither and they go about their business. And then the branches, they look strong, but sometimes you step out on them, and some branches are strong and some branches they'll break. But if you got people that are like the roots, they're not going anywhere no matter what, they're there, then that you hold on to those people. And, because they not there. They only there to help bring, life.
Shade. Well, the roots. I mean, no, not the roots, but the branches.
No, the roots.
Oh, you talking about the roots? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they
The
bring
roots.
up the nutrients. They help the tree.
Yes, they help.
They help the tree a lot, So yeah, that's those things. But yeah, I mean, I haven't had any.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I pray if I do ever have a problem or issue or offense or thing, I pray I have it in me to tell that person, even if I need to write it down. That might be good for me. I might, if I have one, if it ever comes up, to write it down, because I hear that writing it down helps people a lot. So I might write it down.
Yeah,
If it ever happens.
I don't think I've ever had an altercation or a confrontation with you. Me and Risha, of course, we have them all the time.
What's it? Me and you know.
Because, but and you and Risha don't. You know what I'm saying? So that's,
What you laugh for? You laugh like, yes, I do, but I just don't say nothing.
It's just crazy because we don't.
We don't.
And I just be like, that's because in my mind, I was like, this could take me so non-confrontational. Like,
when I tell y'all I run, I just be like, okay.
First of all,
y'all having a conversation, I'm gonna head out.
I'll tell Tay about how I feel if I'm mad at her or something, like after I feel it. Like, I try not to do it in the moment of anger. Be like, Tay, I really didn't like you. I really did.
Yeah, she don't tell me.
I don't tell her in the moment because I don't want her to feel that energy. And sometimes Tay will just blot it out anyway. So until I come around and talk again, because she don't ever come around and talk. She just kind of keep you at a distance. Okay, all right. You stay over there now, yeah.
Oh, something wrong with you? All right, I'm gonna go the other way.
But then, don't isolate yourself. We want you here.
Go
No,
talk to
you
Sheena.
don't. Exactly. Like, get out of here. Always talking about isolation, but hey.
I just don't. I just want the world to be such a nice. I understand everything ain't always cupcakes and rainbows, so I just be like, let's just chill, y'all. It's all right. Let's just vibe.
Hey, ain't nothing
It's
wrong with that.
okay.
That's
Everything
you.
is
That's what.
awesome.
That's you. That's why we love you, and we love.
It is because you
yeah.
really do make everything easy going. Like,
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
if it's not for your energy, sometimes it'd be like,
I think growing up by
Ooh.
myself really did a number on me. Like, cause I really didn't have friends for a while. Like, I just grew up
till
by
you was
myself.
11. Well, you
Yeah,
had
I was-
a little bit of
I mean, I
friends
have
in
friends
middle
like
school.
in and
That's
out.
cool.
Like, you know,
Right. There's a difference between associates and people you
Yeah.
can, and then having friends.
I didn't really have any friends for, I mean, years growing up. And like, you know, I went to live with my step grandmother for some time while my mama was working everything out. So again, I was alone with older people. So that's even like, so growing up alone. So when I do get people, I just want to hold on to them no matter what it takes. Like, even if I am mad, upset, flustered, I'm just like, no, don't go nowhere, please.
And it's crazy because I feel like we grew up semi together, but it seemed like when I get mad, like I don't have that mechanism. I'd be ready to let people go. Go, please.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
That's so
please
opposite.
stay. Please stay.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. God put us together. He ain't really. He revealed.
No, I said,
it
why
to
do you
me.
feel like you just go?
Oh, it's a defense mechanism. It just keeps me comfortable.
So the same thing. Hers keep her comfortable, and you do it because it keeps you comfortable.
Just to let people be and let them go.
Because you like your own company.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't like people, but for a long time I didn't like people. So now it's not easy to accept like people and their love and stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but it's kind of where I'm at.
So why do you think it's so easy to accept hers?
I don't know. Tay makes it so easy, and I don't know. I really have no idea. I've always just had. I can't stay mad at Tay. Like I can't. Like even if I was been mad at Aaron, like I'd be like, "Ooh, they together." Darn it. That's my best friend though. I love her, but she's stupid right now. Especially I think I only thought she was stupid when she did not do my hair that one Easter. And that really traumatized my soul because I was like, why would you not do my hair? That's so stupid. And this is like, we was 19, so it was fresh. So, but that's different from being mad at her. Like, so I don't know why that is.
I think it's because God put it together. That's what I think. He did it for a reason. That way, she's that door that keeps your heart from being going cold. Because you ain't got that for me. I'll be pouring my little heart out. Like,
That is not.
you ain't got that for me. Well, you can go. Care about you.
That's not true.
All right.
It be hard sometimes because Sheena loves so hard and she's so open with it. So it's like, for me, I can accept it, but then I guess when I'm going through this transition, when it comes down to boundaries and stuff, it's like, you're crossing boundaries that I don't want to touch, but they're not good boundaries because sometimes you can set
So they're
bad
walls,
boundaries.
basically.
Yeah, you're right. I had little walls and I
Mhm.
thought it was boundaries.
They're
So
walls.
she come kicking the side, so I get real mad, and it's just like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. Stay out there.
I'll be like, this is a wall. We
That
supposed to be
ain't no
friends.
boundaries, right?
Why is there a wall here?
Let me
And
tell
I'll
you
be like,
something.
excuse me.
And it kicks every part of my soul up, and I be like,
She be like, shut up, leave my wall alone.
I just don't want to be bothered, and I do want to run, and I do want to hide, and I don't want that mechanism because it's not good and it's not healthy and it helps no one. But it's like, God, how do you not make a wall? How do you make a boundary, a healthy one, a healthy one? It's not like I don't know how to make boundaries, but certain areas, everybody don't know how to make boundaries for certain areas.
I think you have to find the root of what it is.
The wall comes from.
Where the wall comes from. So a boundary. I have a boundary with Aaron. Like if you're gonna, cause he likes to listen to music sometimes in the car. It's his favorite little pastime. Fine. Just call me if you're gonna be out like later than what. It's like, okay, like he gets off work. You should be home at a certain time. If you're gonna be home past that certain time, you need to call me. Hey, call me. I'm just listening to music. I'm cool. I'm fine. That boundary I need that boundary because it comes from like not knowing if you're gonna come home. Again, he ain't never not came home. He's never.
It's a thing of you, not a thing of him.
Yes, he never not came home. But in my mind, this might be the time he don't come home. Like you might not come home, so I need you to call me to make sure you telling me where you at. You gonna come home. It's a me thing. So that's a boundary that comes from a place of in my mind you could leave. Yeah. Right. So that's where that part of me comes from. It's not a bad boundary or a wall. It's just like I just need to feel safe.
Secure, reassured.
Yes.
These are things I need.
Yeah. That's all I need. Yep. So that's where that boundary comes in place. Everyone has to figure out where their boundaries and walls, like what is the root of that.
You'll know it's a wall if he forgets to call you or anything like that, and he comes home and you are like
closed off.
Yes, you're closed. I don't want nothing to do with you. And then it's just
Erin is looking at me because I had this. I did not do what she said. I said so. Came home a little late last night because I fell asleep. I'm gonna go to sleep. I said, so you came home a little late last night. He was like, yeah. What do you mean? I said, did you forget to call me? You forget to call me? And I was like, and he was like, well, yeah, you could call me if you needed to check on me or something. I said, didn't we agree that you would call me? He's like, yeah. What, you ain't say that? Get on the mic. I'm get Aaron to get on the mic to tell his side of the story. Because again, this is my boundary.
I understand it affects you. But
there shouldn't be a but.
Our conversation was, I guess you remember what you remember. I remember what I remember. But from my recollection, I said, call me if you feel like it's something going on or it's a problem or something.
I was asleep.
Exactly.
So?
Soon as you hung up the phone, you went to sleep. You want me to call you and tell you that, hey, I'm going to be later even though you sleep anyway?
Yes. What's wrong with that?
That's a wall.
No, that's not a wall.
That's
a boundary.
Is a wall. Why? Because you sleep.
No. It's a boundary.
You want me to call and wake you up?
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that one.
I
yes.
do.
I do understand that.
I think it's a woman thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you love you my one. Call me, please.
Yeah,
just
it's the safety of knowing you're okay.
That's it.
So hold on. What's the call? What's the time frame of the call? If I'm supposed to be home at 11 o'clock and I don't come in till 12.
Oh, you should have called at 11:15.
11:20, yeah, 11:30. You're looking at us like we're crazy, but we're just telling you. Now, you might disagree with it, but if you love that person, it doesn't have to make sense to you for their safety and for their mental health. Yeah, seriously. Because if my significant other is like, I need you to call me in the middle of the day so that I know everything's okay. And I'll be like, I'm busy. I am I'm a cosmetologist. I got so much to do, blah, 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 blah. And I don't have time for that. Then I'm saying to you, I could care less about what you need.
That's a whole different scenario.
I don't say nothing about me not flicking your lip. I like to flick your lip.
It's a security for her. Why can't she?
That's domestic violence. You shouldn't be doing that.
Oh, my God. Dramatic.
Number two.
I mean, so dramatic because this is all I do, y'all. And it makes a sound because his lips are full, so it makes a sound like it looks like a little pop.
It's a security blanket.
Anyway, that's a whole different
I
scenario.
love that.
Calling somebody in the middle of the day to check on them is different than calling you to say, "Hey, I'm gonna be home. I'm gonna be an hour late.
I'm gonna be late. Yeah,
an hour.
Yeah,
when you gonna be asleep.
Would you call your job?
Hour.
Would you call your job if you were gonna be late?
If they would sleep, no.
If you would you call your job if that you have a duty to your job?
Sure.
If you're going to be late, and would you call them? Yes, you would.
Yes, you
have a duty to your wife, and if you have an agreement with her,
I was late the other day. I ain't calling.
How late were you?
But that's a whole different situation.
How
'cause
late
it's
were
a whole
you?
different vibe where I work. But anyway, I was like 30 minutes late.
Right, but you have a duty to your
it
wife, and
won't-
she
that is
asked you
nothing.
to be
But the
home
thing
by a
is,
certain time.
You
Y'all
gonna
had an
call.
agreement.
You can't name me a scenario that's gonna make sense because I mean, outside of I get that's her thing, but wouldn't that be something that she kind of need to work out?
No,
Why?
because she's asking you to do it.
Well, if that's the
He,
case,
he
if she has
feel
a
like we
problem-
cradling trauma.
exactly.
That's
Risha.
exactly what he feel like.
Exactly.
Because that's what I thought about too. I was like, well, it doesn't kind of
Exactly.
sound like it. But then at the same time, it's like, not really. But then when you look at it from two different perspectives, if you look at it,
Explain.
it's like, all right, boom. So you have the reason to feel an abandoned, like
Mhm.
or whatever, and say he messed up one particular time on your boundary. But it's like, is that really a him problem or is that a you problem for feeling that way, knowing he's gonna come back regardless?
Because basically, you're saying that his consistency over the years should prove to her.
Right, in his character and his love.
So at
and
what
his
point will she work on it?
Right, instead of cradling.
Hold
hey, if you messed up this
on,
one
wait a
particular
minute.
time,
Wait a
or
minute.
don't
I
call.
why
see
is
it both ways.
such a
why
situation.
why is the
turntables.
coin flipping?
I can see what
It
I'm
was on
saying. Is,
heads at first, y'all.
certain boundaries can be
Okay.
like is cradling trauma.
I mean,
in
that's
a
what we're
way.
discussing. Boundaries. What's the difference in the boundary?
Okay,
And
okay,
my-
yes. This is
you
good.
know,
This is a good
and
discussion.
So it's to me, you could do that if you're going to a trauma and something that you know that you have going on. If you feel like it's a bother at that point, then you can rediscuss. My thing is, you agreed to the 11.
I
And so-
never agreed to an 11.
Oh,
because
well, that's what the conversation was.
no, she
We
just
just
talking
gave
about
her a scenario.
She
Yeah.
gave a thought of when,
Okay.
however long she thinks it should take me to get home. I never agreed to that.
We agreed. He's right.
You said
He's right.
here's what I
That changes
agreed
things
to.
then.
Because sometimes here's what I agreed to. If I'm out like real late, then okay. But I said an hour, and you asleep.
An hour to when I think you're gonna be
An
home.
hour after, maybe 2 hours after.
Oh no, yeah, you need a call.
Okay. Anyway, let's go back to this babysitting trauma thing because I thought that was a pretty interesting thing.
Cradling
Cradling, whatever you want to call it. The thing
cradling
is,
trauma.
if you had something from your past that makes you this way now, shouldn't you kind of delve into that and figure out what that's about and deal
And
with it on
relax
the internal
yourself.
level first? Instead of going at the person that didn't, that overstepped the boundary?
I think it depends. I really do. I think that I do feel like if you are in a relationship and people have traumas, because you can't really
Exist.
help. yeah, and you can't really, and you can't help what has traumatized you in your past. It is your responsibility. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. However, I do feel like if you're in a relationship with someone and you know that they have certain traumas and stuff, you can accommodate in some ways to help them get over it. Now, if you're going to help her walk through it and say, listen, I'm going to come home, you have to stop this. And, you know what I'm saying, talk about it and, you know, find ways that you can, well, I mean, it is your responsibility, but she's your responsibility at this point, you know, like, and he's yours. If he has some things that he's going on that he has to work through, maybe this is just me. I expect to help my significant other come through whatever it is that if it is something I feel like they need to work out,
Right.
and vice versa. So if you have exercises or you feel like there's some things that you can reiterate to reassure her so that those traumas are laid to rest, that's a whole different ballgame. But if you just looking at her like that's your problem, you need to fix it, I'm gonna do what I want to do. It depends on the spirit and the mindset when you say those things to that
That's a great
person.
point. I like
Yeah.
that point.
But that was a good perspective because I was thinking that too over here. I was like, wait. As y'all was listening, as I was like, are we cradling trauma here? Are we keeping it in the cup holder? Like, are we putting it over here?
Yeah,
keep
that's
it in the
I
possible.
don't know.
It's
Put it in
possible.
your pocket because if we're gonna get rid of the trauma, we gotta get rid of the trauma. But that's a whole different podcast. When
Right.
We talk
Well,
about traumas.
we have had at least 3 podcasts where we have heard about Tay's abandonment issues.
Yeah.
So I mean, Aaron does have a point to a certain extent,
Yeah.
but there's no buts. And
But
we
will
are
work
working
it.
through
Right, we
those
are working
things.
through it. That's
you
a
know.
fact.
We're
That is
working
a
through
fact.
those things, Aaron, and you have to help.
Oh, that is funny to
I don't
me.
mind helping. She's actually gotten a lot better than it was, because it was a point where, hey,
And you know where that comes from? Your
What?
consistency.
Absolutely.
If
That
you
is a
become
fact.
Well, can I catch a
inconsistent,
break? In
No.
all honesty, I will say, I thought about calling because I was supposed to call anyway. Because
That was the Holy Spirit.
Harmony wanted some McDonald's or something, which we don't really let her have no more. But I literally was like, bro, she sleep. Why the heck am I gonna wake her up? I'm gonna let her sleep. And plus, she been having the tooth thing. So I'm like, go ahead, go sleep.
So he
I just
really
kept it
had you in
moving.
mind in general, though.
so and that perspective
Right.
is great to hear.
Versus
I'm sure.
you saying like, "Oh well, what I need to call you for?" Like you did say what I need to call you for if you
Right.
sleep,
I love
but
that
you broke it
explanation much
down,
better.
right? And it made it seem like, well, I just wanted you to rest. Like
Right.
you need.
I
your
was thinking
rest.
about you.
Then and then not only that, you just said let's have a podcast about tired black women or something like that. So he did you a big favor. He did his big one on that one with letting you sleep last night or whenever that happened. But so I'm
My
just saying.
tooth has been bothering me. I have a dentist appointment coming up, but it ain't till the 5th. And at night it gets bad. So like if I get to sleep, it's just like, all right, I should sleep.
And T-Way, you better sleep
Yeah.
while they
He
sleep.
was thinking about you.
You better sleep while they sleep, okay? Because
Alrighty.
once that thing
Right.
start kicking back up,
right.
So I guess that's the solution is what is your perspective, you
Okay.
know? And he gave his, and his was I wanted to rest. And that is that an acceptable answer?
Yes.
Okay, there we have it. There
have
we
an
have it.
understanding.
Yeah, good, yeah.
Setting a
Understanding
healthy boundary, and we're not cradling.
You
Aaron,
know.
will you be calling or will you be telling her to not cradle? What is going to be the future?
Yeah, don't try to play my girl like that. You're going to have to walk this thing out. We
Are
already
you going to
know what
wake her
it
up
is.
or are you going to say, hey, I have been consistent enough for you to, let's push past this trauma. Let's not
Let's
keep
work
it.
together.
What say you?
I can call her.
Oh, see, you see all the smiles of the women. I mean, everybody immediately was like, yes,
The tone and everything.
you better do that, sir. And that is why,
a good cousin,
folks,
husband.
that is why he's still married and you're not.
Don't do that.
No,
you know?
just
Because we ain't married either. Y'all, we divorced, but y'all know that.
Oh my goodness.
But it's all right. Praise the Lord.
You know, it made me think about that shirt. You got him. I may be wrong,
but I doubt it.
Right.
That's
that's my
his
cat.
personality.
That's him for sure. He's gonna be right. He
Oh,
got
he's
that
right.
boundary of
But
right.
he just compromised. Was like, I can call. That's beautiful.
That
Okay.
is. Healthy boundaries, guys. You
We
got a
salute
perfect
you,
example
Aaron.
right
Yes,
now.
we got it.
That was a
So
perfect
from this
example.
podcast, it's like a therapy moment. Didn't know it was
It
gonna be in that.
was.
It's different. It's the difference between traumas and boundaries
Walls.
and walls.
Yeah.
You got to figure out the category because it can
Boundaries
get
and walls.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching another episode of Maybe We Can Help. I am Tasia Royale.
I'm Sheena.
I'm Risha.
Bye.
Bye.